I'm Kay, and I am here with Make It Mini Monday, and I am combining it with Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. This is the sketch that I will be recreating today, and it was created by Brandy Joe, and it is going to be a mini layout. So I chose to do a pocket page, and I'm actually going to flip this layout on its side so the design is up at the top. I have a couple of these Snap Studio by Simple Stories little labels. I wish they would come out with these labels again because I love having them all in different colors like this. And then I'm not sure where this Color Theory sticker sheet came from, but I think I ordered it from Simon Says Stamps. Is that how you say it? I think so. Anyways, I also have some brad pieces that I have picked out from my little brad bowl that sits on my desk and is continually forgotten about. I have some really old cork shapes from Close to My Heart back in the day. I'm going to try to add a little bit of that on there. I have already, I picked out a label too from Jelly Bean Soup that was on a label sheet. And then I already picked out some titles and I guess subtitles or subtext, something like that. And then from this really old Close to My Heart, and I say really old, you guys, because they're no longer available. This stuff is like back from the 20-teens era. But I picked out those for the candelabras or the candlesticks. And then I have a bunch of scraps. So I've got this Kaisercraft border strip scrap. I have this Close to My Heart wood grain scrap. And then I think this is Echo Park. Yes, Jack and Jill by Lori Whitlock. And she made it for Echo Park. And this plaid is just beautiful. I'm going to use that side rather than the geometric side on the other, on the back. And then I've got these 3 photos, and then up at the top, I have nothing but space for a title and journaling and all that good stuff. So that's why I decided to flip the sketch, because all these photos are going to take up the whole right side of the page. And if I was to have done the sketch on the right side, it would have only shown in a 3x4 pocket. So I flipped the sketch, and then the way that I flipped the sketch, my photos are going to go down the right side, which I have 2 photos going down the right side. And then instead of having my title on the side, I'm going to have my title go up at the top, going across the 2 3x4 pockets. So I did have to alter the sketch ever so slightly. But I used the design of the pattern papers, for my pockets. That's basically where I'm trying to, fudge the design. So I went ahead and I went off camera, trimmed down my photos and trimmed up my papers. So that way I could, move on. That is the most boring part of doing these pocket pages, is trimming everything down either 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. I chose these ones at 1/4 of an inch so that way I could add a little bit of white cardstock that I picked from my scraps around the photos so that way they don't get lost on top of this plaid print. And now I am just going to build a 4x6 card using these scraps, as well as a 2 3x4 pockets. And I'm just ripping the paper instead of zigzagging the paper. In the sketch, it was all zigzagged going across. I didn't realize that there were 3 different pattern papers that she used until like right now. So I definitely only brought in 2 before adding them to the plaid. And of course, you're not going to see a whole lot of the plaid on the 3x4s, but I like how it looks like it's going down into the photos. So you can definitely tell that the plaid is going down. And I'm just using, and I should have used my ruler, you guys, and I'm just using the cards. And I do have to trim them down because it is a Becky Higgins Project Life pocket page that I'm putting them in. And even though they say they're 3x4s and 4x6s, they're not true. I have to trim them down by 1/8 of an inch, sometimes 3/16 of an inch, which is just the little notch next to the 1/8 of an inch. But I do have to do that. And I love how this looks, you guys. I love that ripping of the wood grain with the grid paper underneath it, and then it goes down into that plaid. I love this, and I would have never done that if it wasn't for the sketch. Now, when it comes to embellishing, if I do flip it on its side, she's got 3 paint splotches going down. Like I said, if I flipped it, it's going down on the right hand side. So I'm going to put my title in across the 3x4s, and then I'm going to put just a small design and my created by label in the 4x6, so that way I can list, who designed this mansion. So I've got this is the Chollar mansion. I know I go into my little spiels of what all of my pictures are. And this is actually the Chollar mansion from Virginia City. And if you don't know about, which is fine, if you don't know about the Chollar mansion, the Chollar mine was one of the first mines back in the 1800s, the late 1800s, about 1858 is when, I don't remember his first name, but Chollar found the silver vein in Virginia City. And so he had a mansion constructed for the business. So it was actually business offices, and then he and his foreman lived in this building. And one of the things that was super cool about this building is the fact that it had in one of the floors, which I can't really say it was the basement, but inside one of the floors was the largest vault back in that day, back in the 1860s. It was the largest vault known at that time, and they did all of the money went through this mansion. The miners came to the mansion to get paid because there was like a little cashier's, or they called it a payout desk, and so everything was done inside this mansion. They've currently reventilated? No. They've revamped it into a bed and breakfast. So I'm not really sure if the vault and all of that what is still in the mansion. When we went to go visit it at this particular time, they were again remodeling. That's the word I'm looking for. They were remodeling the mansion again, so that way it can, house more people. So I'm not really sure if they were taking, actual artifacts out. I don't really know. I just know that it was shut down because they were remodeling. But it's just known for the fact that it was called a mansion, and this is where Mr. Chollar lived. However, he slept on top of his money. It had the vault inside there. The miners had to come here to get paid, all that good stuff. And then also too, it was constructed in 1861. And then in 1863, they picked up the entire mansion and moved it a quarter of a mile north of its, well, actually, yes, it's not exactly true north, but they had to move it because of the fact that the hill that it was built on was starting to slide, and the original foundation was not holding the mansion. And so when they moved this mansion a quarter of a mile down, or I should say, for them it's down, but it was north. It's kind of weird saying north is down. But it's, they built it on, I don't really know, we call it rebar now, but it wasn't called rebar back then, to support it. But the pictures, from the mansion balcony shows the entire mine. Like he could just walk out of the balcony and watch his workers, from this mansion. I mean, it's one of the founders of Virginia City, and that is why this mansion is so preserved, I should say. And in 1993, it was listed on the historical societies. So it's now a National Historical Building, just because of its history. So anyways, I just really wanted to use the candelabras or the candlesticks, because of the fact that it is a mansion. And I do plan on putting Coleman's name. It was J, I think it was N.J. Coleman is who designed this mansion and put it together. And it took him 2 years, 61 to 62, to build it originally. And then, of course, they had to pick it all up and replace it. So this is where I'm trying to justify where all of my elements go from the sketch, because it is hard on a pockets page to see the sketch. And pretty much the only thing different is I moved the title up to the top, where I did not have a third photo over on the right, should I have actually truly flipped this sketch. But all in all, I think that I did get the majority. Now, I did have to take a couple of 7s and alter them into L's for my for my title, because this font is, again, from Close to My Heart, super old, and I just don't have a whole lot left. So I have to get a little, creative with the letters. So anyways, Brandy Joe, this was such a fun sketch, and I would have never done this with this pocket page should I have not had this sketch. So thank you so much for that. Also, too, check out the links down below. They are Christy's links. One is a playlist for all the YouTubers, and the other one is the Facebook group, where you'll find all of the other beautiful creations using these sketches. So thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.